Hello everyone, myself is Divya Bahal, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. The subject that I am going to take is Mass Transfer Operations 2. Now moving forward for the lecture. In today's lecture we are going to start vapor-liquid equilibria topic. Now this is a very big topic, so first of all, going deep into this topic, we are going to have an overview about this, about the important definitions first of all. Let's have an introduction about this. Now what is vapor-liquid equilibrium? As per the definition, the vapor-liquid equilibrium describes the distribution of chemical species between the gas phase and liquid phase. See, in distillation, we have a mixture of A and B, okay, a binary mixture. I am just taking an example of a binary mixture. The starting, we are doing it when it is in liquid phase. As we heat it, the liquid phase gets vaporized into gas phase. Now, so we are here talking about two phases, liquid phase and gas phase, and the distribution of those individual species in both liquid and vapor phase is studied in vapor-liquid equilibrium. As I told you, A plus B is my mixture. So the composition of A in both vapor and liquid phase. Similarly, composition of B in both vapor and liquid phase. That equilibrium, the equilibrium between those composition, that is called as vapor-liquid equilibrium. It is also called as phase equilibrium because see, here we are talking about equilibrium between vapor and liquid phases. Okay. Moving forward, so at vapor-liquid equilibrium, a liquid with individual components in certain concentrations will have an equilibrium vapor in which the concentrations of vapor components have certain values depending on all the liquid component concentration and the temperature. In short, what does that mean to say is, in liquid phase the individual component, okay, it can be binary, it can be having multi-component mixture also. So the liquid component, the liquid part of that individual component is going to have a equilibrium value with its vapor phase component. As simple as that, that XA is in equilibrium with YA. For XA value, that is the liquid phase composition of my A component has some certain value at an equilibrium condition in vapor phase. Now here, as we discussed in first topic, it is not necessary that as equilibrium is suggested, because equilibrium is there, that the value of A in both liquid phase and vapor phase will be same. No, it doesn't mean that XA equal to YA equal to 0.5. No. Suppose it can also be possible that after some point in distillation, that is when boiling is subjected, okay, at certain temperature, for example at 50 degrees Celsius, if the composition of A in liquid phase is suppose 0.2, then it is possible that its equilibrium composition in vapor phase, that is YA, can be 0.6. So here XA equal to 0.2 and YA equal to 0.6 are my equilibrium compositions, okay, they are in equilibrium. It means now no further distribution, now no more further separation is possible. Now, you will learn vapor-liquid equilibrium properly using an example of binary mixture. This is just a part 1 of vapor-liquid equilibrium which we are discussing in today's lecture. First of all, you have to be clear with certain definitions. First of all, what is vapor pressure? The most basic definition which you have to be clear. Vapor pressure is defined as the pressure exerted by a vapor on liquid surface at a given temperature in closed system. Okay, I am keeping my liquid in a closed system, and when at a given temperature, suppose I am boiling it, let's not introduce the boiling point right now. At a given temperature, your vapors of that liquid will exert some pressure on its surface. So that pressure exerted is called as vapor pressure. Okay, so you can see from the example how the vapors of that liquid will exert pressure on the surface at given temperature. Okay, one more thing, as temperature increases, more and more vapors escape the liquid surface, and then because here we are talking about closed system, so these vapors are not able to escape. So these vapors will exert a pressure on liquid surface till it becomes saturated. This is just I am saying, you will discuss what is saturated later on. This is about closed system. In open system also vapor pressure will be there, okay, but the saturation condition which we are discussing, that is for closed system. So here don't get confused about this, especially taking into point closed system. You can simply say that vapor pressure is the pressure exerted by vapor on liquid surface at a given temperature. Moving forward, boiling point. What is boiling point now? The temperature at which the vapor pressure at the surface of a liquid becomes equal to the pressure exerted by surrounding is called as boiling point of the liquid. We saw further what was vapor pressure, okay. So vapor pressure is nothing but the pressure exerted on liquid surface. Now about boiling point, how vapor pressure is related. So when vapor pressure becomes equal to external pressure of the surrounding, that temperature is called as boiling point of the liquid. Now here your system can be open also, closed also. For example, in open system, the external pressure of the surrounding is what? It is atmospheric pressure. So in that case, when your vapor pressure on the surface of the liquid becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure, that temperature is called as boiling point. You can see over here. Now what happens at boiling? Bubbles can form. Why bubbles can form? Because vapor pressure can overcome the atmospheric pressure. You can see over here, it is an example of open system. What happens in closed system? Nothing. In closed system you have a closed container, and so when boiling takes place, okay, vapor pressure increases, the vapor will be formed, and those vapor would exert some pressure on the liquid surface. That would be a vapor pressure. Now as boiling takes place, now because the vapors can't escape, vapor pressure is going to increase and increase until it becomes saturated. About this saturated condition, that would be covered in next lectures, but here you can have an overview that what happens in closed system. So a condition of saturation can be formed. Now some of the important notes about boiling point. How your boiling point can be related to pressure, let's see. So the pressure of gas above a liquid affects the boiling point, okay. In an open system, this pressure is called as atmospheric pressure. In open system we are talking about external pressure, that is your atmospheric pressure. Now when the pressure is increased, okay, the greater the pressure, the more energy is required for liquids to boil and higher the boiling point. See, relate the terms. When you increase your external surrounding pressure on the liquid surface, okay, so more energy is going to required by the liquid to boil. For vapors to escape the surface, you need to have more energy, and so you need to supply more heat, and hence what does it mean? It means your boiling point has been increased. So you can say, as we increase the total pressure, okay, total pressure is what? The external pressure you are supplying to the system. If you are increasing the total pressure of the system, the boiling point also increase. Now what is boiling point diagram? See, in vapor liquid equilibrium, you describe the equilibrium condition on the boiling point of the system, because what we are talking about, distillation is what? Evaporation, okay, we are boiling the substance, so we are generating two phases, and how with temperature your vapor compositions in both liquid and vapor phase is going to change, that is described using boiling point diagram. What is boiling point diagram now? This diagram shows how the equilibrium vapor and liquid composition, that is X and Y, change with temperature. In liquid phase your equilibrium composition is X, in vapor phase we are taking it as Y. So this diagram is T versus XY with temperature change in compositions in both the phases. So let's have an overview about boiling point diagram. This is the boiling point diagram. You can see subcooled liquid is first of all heated. That line AB shows the heating process. we are heating the subcooled liquid. Your subcooled liquid, for example, can be, simply take it as water at 25 degrees Celsius at room temperature. So that is a subcooled condition. When it is heated up to B point. What happens at B point is my first bubble forms. Okay, means it is the onset of vaporization. Now vapors are also starting to form. So the corresponding line, that is, you can see the diagram from diagram BC. So at point C, the point C tells the composition of that component in vapor phase. Okay, this would be covered in next part of the VLE, but just giving an overview that what does BC. This BC is called as tie line. Okay, it shows the equilibrium conditions between liquid and vapor phase. At B point, okay, the equilibrium condition in liquid phase is 0.4. Okay, your composition of volatile component, suppose here given is A is my volatile component, so the composition of A in liquid phase is 0.4, that is corresponding to B. Okay, as you follow BC, now as I told you, at B point there is formation of vapors, so the composition of vapors is now 0.8. Okay, so you can see these are the equilibrium conditions. Okay, as I told you in first lecture also, in equilibrium conditions the composition in liquid and vapor phase need not to be same. Here you can see the equilibrium composition of A in both the phases are 0.4 in liquid phase, 0.8 in vapor phase. Okay, so this is shown. Again, this would be covered in detail in next lecture about VLE. This is just an overview how you can read the boiling point diagram. So the important terms over here we saw are bubble point, dew point, subcooled liquid and superheated vapor. In continuation lecture we will see what are these terms. See, as I explained earlier, my B point is called as bubble point, and if we continue heating it, the blue line, what does blue line say? I am heating my solution, and when that blue line intersects the dew point curve, at that point my all liquid has been heated and converted into vapor. So the point where the blue line intersects with dew point curve, at that point you can say now your mixture that was initially A and B, let's say A is more volatile, B is less volatile. Okay, that mixture is now totally in vapor phase. So B is your bubble point, and that point, another red point, is called as dew point. Note, bubble point is when your whole mixture is in liquid phase, whereas dew point, your whole mixture is in vapor phase. Bubble point, easily the temperature at which first drop of liquid vaporizes. Okay, this is onset of vaporization. It can also be said as the temperature at which first bubble appearance of first bubble takes place. Dew point, the temperature at which last drop of liquid vaporizes. Focus on the last drop of liquid vaporizes. From this you can see that now, because last drop of liquid has been vaporized, it means now your total mixture is in what phase? Totally it's in vapor phase. It can also be said as a temperature at which first drop of dew will appear. Now here why we are introducing bubble point. In boiling point definition also we saw when bubbles appear. See, suppose I am talking about benzene and toluene. Benzene and toluene, these are two different entities and they have their respective boiling points. But when I mix both of them, now it is a mixture. So I cannot assume that it will have a boiling point equal to as that of individual components. Okay, in easy language, when I am talking about mixture, its boiling point is now in a range. It doesn't have a single boiling point, because suppose boiling point of benzene was different and that of pure toluene was different. Now because they are in mixture, now their boiling point of the mixture would be the thing we will be talking about, not about the individual components. So the boiling point of the mixture will be in a range between boiling point of benzene and boiling point of toluene. So for mixture, the temperature at which first bubble appears, we are naming it as bubble point and not boiling point. Okay, So what is bubble point? Associated with a mixture when first bubble appears. Okay, because in a mixture, let's talk about binary mixture. Boiling point exists in a range because no pure entity is there. We are not talking about pure benzene and pure toluene. Now it is a mixture. So the first bubble appearance is showing the onset of boiling and is your bubble point. Bubble point temperature is function of pressure of the system and liquid phase composition. We discussed this earlier itself, because in bubble point we are taking that your liquid, only your liquid is present, okay? So it will vary with liquid phase composition. Similarly, dew point, your total mixture has been converted into vapor phase. So it will vary with vapor phase composition. Now you can see it is also function of pressure. Same as boiling point, when you increase the pressure, your boiling point will increase. Here also we are talking about pressure only. If we increase the pressure on the mixture, its bubble point and dew point will also vary. So this was all for today's lecture. In next lecture we will discuss in detail about the VLE. Thank you.